What is up, my beautiful gemstones? Welcome to Friday night's live intuitive oracle with myself and Ghostdrgonzw. I have not had a rougher week, I don't think, in a full year. I think it's been a whole year since I've had a week this mentally, spiritually, and emotionally draining. It really made me realize how much I need to work and what I do for a living in my life, connecting with spirit, working with clients to reach their spiritual heights and help them to be led on their way, oracle readings, writing every day, and just things that I really have not been able to do this week because little man's camp doesn't start till Monday. Also, my hour that I spend in devotional with the Lord every morning, I've only been able to do that once, and I had to do it in a 20-minute time, just like get everything written down and read. That's it. I am struggling tremendously this week, but here we are, and I'm so glad to be here, and I'm so glad to see you guys. I'm posting as much as I can, of course, and as always, it's already a rough night for me internally, so my Wi-Fi is doing that thing where it's showing me like half a bar. I don't really care what I look like, but if you guys start to not be able to hear me, then of course, let me know. Let me say hello, bring in the ghost dragon, and we'll get started. So we've got the Bat Mom, sup? Eris, what's up, girl? Melissa Nicole, good to see you. Blue Crossroads. I don't know if all the cool kids hang out here, but I consider myself pretty cool. Pretty cool. No secret handshake. All are welcome. Urso, what is up, my guy? Area 51. Oh, hello. Nomeo. What's up, Skyly girl? That's okay. See you later, Urso. Pop back in whenever you can. Yeah. I guess we're just going to get started, and we'll take it from there as we go. So Monday, the day program starts. It's only for 12 days. It's Monday to Thursday from 8:30 to noon, and it goes from Monday the 30th to Thursday, July 12th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 10th. So not a lot of time, but definitely a lot more than what I have now. Just a quick reminder, guys, for donations specifically to PayPal and Cash App, I haven't really been receiving any, which is fine. I understand it's summertime and everybody has things that they want and need to be doing. But if you have a little extra, please, because this is how I buy groceries and how I'm going to pay for my son's birthday and all those fun and good things. Let me bring in Ghosty. And Tequila Bigfoot, I love it. Hello, sir.
Hello. 1 second. I'm posting. Here we go. Hello, everybody. How are y'all doing?
I am so happy to be here. Yeah, I guess we could just get started and we'll just take it from there.
Now, remember that members are first and first come, first serve. And people across the lakes and the big ponds need to let me know.
Yeah, to the best of our ability. I mean, sometimes someone slips through. We just try to be as fair as possible because I feel like members should get something because I don't have much for membership until fall. So you're all going to get a turn though, and you guys are here super duper early, so you won't be here for long if not necessary. Like if you can't be or for whatever reason have to leave. So yeah. So who's first?
First is Melissa.
My girl. Melissa, let's use the Goddess Oracle. This is the new one I got last week from my girl Deedles. Nice. I love crock pot. I make like everything, including like lasagna in crock pots. But specifically pot roasts. I don't know a different way to make it except for the crock pot. last time I made it, I didn't have a lot of money, and the pot roast itself cost like $28, right? So I can buy one like maybe once a year, but I wanted one so bad for Sunday dinner. So I bought it, and then I kind of cheaped out on the gravy, and I brought this stuff called Louisiana brown gravy. It was in a packet, a big packet of it, the powder. I added the juice from the pot roast into the gravy at the end and then poured it all in. It was literally the best gravy I had ever eaten in my life. And it was like 69 cents a bag. It was crazy. And I thought like, it's probably going to bring the flavor down a little bit, but I don't have much money left over. So let me get like the cheapest one. It was Louisiana flavored, I guess, or styled. And it had like this tiny little kick to it. I don't like spicy food at all. I don't even like really mild buffalo wings. Like just not for me. But this stuff had the teeniest little kick of extra flavor, and it was just delicious. You know, my husband even said it was good, and he never compliments me. So what's up, Julie girl? Okay. Miss Melissa, you got Durga and Perfect, the goddess of boundaries. You have called Durga into your life to help you to create boundaries. Hey, Roger. What are you taking inside that should remain outside? How are you not protecting yourself, your life, or your time? Is these statements, sorry, no, I can't do this right now, I need to care for myself, part of your vocabulary? Perhaps you feel dumped on by others. Are you feeling pulled off center by demands to give and give and give till there's nothing left for or of yourself? Durga is here to assist you in nurturing wholeness by creating and fixing the limits of your personal space. Establishing clear boundaries is an act of self-love. Having no boundaries gives others the message that you are limitless and want to be treated in a limitless way. No one's limitless. There are places where we get hurt, places where we are vulnerable, and places that need to be treated with care. Durga says that boundaries are vital because they let others know who you are and where you stand. And Melissa, I don't think this is a shock to you that this card popped up, right? I use bacon grease to make pancakes. I don't think it's a surprise. I don't know, again, like exactly week to week what goes on in the personal situation that we almost always talk about here, but I know enough from personal experience and just from things that you've told me to know that it is absolutely draining and boundaries are normally not allowed. And it's when we first start to try to assert these boundaries that things become either more dangerous for us, or let's put it this way, we see who people really are when we start to not only put boundaries in place, but to enforce them. Because I've talked with you guys about this a lot, where it's like anybody can set a boundary. You know, you could actually, I think I am in my family for the most part, and I think I've been changing this a little at a time over the course of a few years, but where it's like everyone knows I'm going to set a boundary. But they also know that they can walk all over it and there will be no consequences. And I think that's what we're talking about here, Melissa, is enforcing the boundaries that we set at any and all costs, right? With everyone. Yeah. For yourself, right? So it's not really an outward aimed thing. I know some people will think like, for example, one of my family members, he's in active addiction. So one of my boundaries with him is he can't call me all messed up to where I can't understand what he's saying. It's a trigger for me, and it's dangerous for me to be in that situation, even if it's just on the phone. But then he'll say to me like, oh, but so-and-so can call you drunk. Yeah, because drunk people to me are funny and ridiculous. Alcohol is not my issue, right? So it's not going to cause me any damage if I answer the phone for that person. Do you understand? And I feel like that could be what we're dealing with here. What's up, Mark? It's not only you enforcing your boundaries, right? But I feel like it's it's more than that at this point, because I feel like you've been trying to enforce boundaries for a long time. But when you're dealing with someone like the person, at least one person that you deal with, and there's probably more in your life, because we tend to collect them as empaths, abusive and toxic people, where it's like, they just don't care, right? So there's no threat you can say to them, like, I'm going to leave you if you cheat on me again, right? And they cheat on you 47 more times, and you know about it, and they know you set that boundary, and you know you set that boundary. But if they don't care, what could you possibly do? I feel like this is more for you. The enforcing of even just the smallest boundaries just to get started, right? Step by step, little by little, baby steps in the next couple of weeks, Melissa. This is you not needing to explain yourself to anyone and not needing to explain your boundary to anyone, right? Boundaries are to protect you, to make you feel better, to make you feel safe, and to give you time to care for yourself and to prioritize it. Right? Not just leftover scraps of time after you're done giving and giving and giving to everyone else and they're done taking and taking and taking. I just keep hearing, and I'm a little slow on the uptake tonight. I told you guys I am, it's been a really long time since I've felt this way, drained. Luckily I have spirit and it's not all on me. Otherwise there'd be no stream tonight. But I just keep hearing, like, don't try to explain where your boundaries are coming from. Because if somebody is toxic enough that they're going to purposefully go out of their way and knowingly step all over your boundary or cross your boundary, they're not going to care why. It's like the boundaries I feel like that you're setting too are such obvious things in all areas of your life. I don't think you're asking for much, and I don't think you're asking for anything that you aren't also willing to give. And I think that's where boundaries are really good and they can be really helpful, is when it's like, you're not setting this ridiculous, hard to achieve boundary. It's like the simplest, you're asking for bare minimum in your boundary. You shouldn't have to explain it. And don't let anyone try to manipulate you to make you think that you're asking too much, or that, like, it's ridiculous or irresponsible. That is a big, big thing that I'm seeing. And I'm feeling it very strongly of somebody. And I think it's a couple people actually this time, where it's like almost berating you for having the audacity to decide that you don't want to be a whipping girl anymore. Well, explain to me, how no, you don't need to explain it. These people or this person only, like, they already know what they're doing is wrong. They're just pissed off because you're now ready to stand up for yourself. Don't be derailed at any cost, because I feel like this is a big, major part of you really standing up for who you are and really taking that initial step to protect yourself. And they're going to not want you to do that at any and all costs. So make sure not only are you enforcing boundaries, and if that's all you can do, that's fine. But it's coming in that you're going to also feel the need to explain, possibly time and again, over explain even these boundaries, in the hopes that the other person or the other people are going to understand. Honey, they already do understand. It's like telling a cheater why cheating is wrong when you're in a committed relationship. You don't think they already know that? Like, we all learned that very young, right? You don't cheat. Well, it's the same thing with boundaries. Somebody should respect your boundaries simply because they respect you. There's no genuine question here. What's up, Cowie? It's been a while. Who's next?
Blue.
Eris, very well said. Toxic people know what they're doing. Sir Blue, I'm going to use the Urban Crow. I hope our other regular friends come in sooner or later. I think they probably will. It's still early yet. I keep looking like. Okay, so Blue, you got card number 34, the card of observation. Got an observant little crow there, looking at a spider and its web. Card number 34. The crow watches the spider, intrigued by how it catches its meals. The crow could simply pluck the spider right up, but instead it decides to learn a little bit first. Observation asks that you hold back from reacting and take some time to analyze a situation. There may be something of value that will only reveal itself given the time. This card may also indicate that you would be better served by being a spectator and staying out of a specific situation. You'll learn more from listening than from talking. And I don't think this is coming as any kind of shock to you, Blue. I feel like this is the type of person that you are, right? You're not quick to speak. Especially when like you're not necessarily being asked, right? You're observing, of course, constantly. That's just in your nature. As you said, I used to do a lot of observation, still do. But I feel like in the next couple of weeks, you may feel like you're being pushed. And I don't mean by a person on purpose. I just feel situationally to the brink of what you feel you're able to take on. Right? Like I will say sometimes I am at the capacity, or I'm at my capacity for what I'm able to deal with. I'm overwhelmed. I think I say that to you actually probably a lot. I've reached maximum capacity of the BS I'm able to handle for today, and I'm shutting down. I feel as though this urge to go in and save or go in and protect or go in and fix in some area of your life for someone you care about could become dangerously overwhelming in the next couple of weeks. And the universe is saying, I know you can do this, okay? I know it's going to be hard, but like do everything you can not to overstep, because there's something about this specific negative, and I use quotations because there's something about this specific negative situation that is almost like a stepping stone for something very beneficial to you and possibly to another or to others involved in the future. But it's like if you lose that little bit of control, even for a millisecond, you're like throwing the universe off track in this area of your life. Does this make sense? It's like do everything you can. Like, for example, let's say you want to be there for a person that you know that's being abused, right? Stupid Gemma example, but bear with me. You can still be there for that person without overstepping. I feel like something's going to happen though, where it's just like, it is, I just see you raging, and you're not a rager, right? You're not that person. I know you well enough to know that. I just feel like there's a situation coming in where you are really going to have to fall back on that composure training and like, you know, being the fixer and being the one who's there and but in a way where you're not riling anyone else up and where you're not inadvertently causing more issue. Because in that type of situation, right, if you step in, that's great for the moment and everything, but that person you're stepping in for is going to go home and get their butt kicked, right? Whether you know the person or not. I know this because I've had people, random strangers, step in for me when I was getting hit in a bar or a restaurant or whatever my abusive ex was doing. And that was great in the moment. But when I got home, it was, oh, you're sleeping with that person. And that's why and I would get it even worse. So I always tell people, like, don't step in for someone, no matter how badly you want to, because you are going to make it worse for the victim. It's something like this. I don't see it as being physical violence, but there's just something that you may feel is beyond what your capacity to just swallow is happening. But if you don't heed this warning, you could end up really messing something up for yourself in the future. I hope that makes sense. What's up, Divine? How you doing, girl? Who's next?
Jules.
My Julie girl. Let's use heal yourself. Chillin' Charlie, what's up? Nice. On vacation in Florida, just left California. I can't wait for my vacation on July 14th. I'm bringing you guys with me, of course. Lots of content, short form. Miss Julie girl, you do what you need to do, honey. And of course, I'll be praying for you and I'll be adding you to my devotional list in the morning. Perfectly perfect. You got card number 30, the card of courage in the Heal Yourself deck. Carrie Ann, what's up, girl? Again, I have to apologize to you, but I had to take about a week and a half off of work completely. So, yeah, he's going to a day camp starting Monday. So I've got this weekend to get through, and it's not that I forgot. I just haven't been able. I haven't been able to really work at all this week. I was able to post some TikToks and YouTube shorts because they're the same thing. And that's been it. I haven't been able to write. I haven't been able to do anything. But Monday, from Monday to Thursday for the next 3 weeks, I will have time to actually get back to work, start replying to emails, replying to comments, all the stuff that I do. I haven't been able to do any of it. And I was saying this in the beginning, I'm so incredibly drained in so many different ways from not being able to work, which is crazy. You know, I always say, like, I love my job. I love what I do. I love you guys. But I didn't realize how much it really balances me as a person in my everyday life off camera. So just hang in there a little bit longer. I did not forget. I will get to you Monday. Julie girl, whether you're afraid of success or failure, you cannot stay where you are. You need to make a decision and move forward with belief, trust, and boldness. Give it your all, no matter what the outcome is. Despite what you might be telling yourself, you are ready for a new adventure and another chance to prove that you have what it takes to face life's challenges. Stop investing in limitations, lack, and dysfunction. Every blessing has a challenge, and every challenge contains a blessing. You're ready to explore both. Whilst there may be difficult moments ahead, keep positive and believe that everything's going to work out for your absolute best. You're being asked to gather the courage to be who you truly are and to stand strong for your convictions. Oh, Julie girl. You know, that's what we do. And that's why this stream and this community just really means so much to me. Because I want to make that difference, right? Like, that is my purpose here, is to help people and connect them with their spirit team who they may not be in contact with or may not be connecting with the right way. So through these cards and through these readings, you know, that's a really good way to start to cultivate that relationship. They'll send the messages through me, and then after a while they start giving them directly to you. Callie, I don't even know. I haven't even had a chance to look. Like, I have not even had a chance to look at, like, when is the full moon, like what is going on. And that's crazy for me, right? Because that's a part of what I do every day. I have just been momming, and I realized how not independent my son is. Like, not at all. Julie girl, what this is saying is, you know, there's always going to be the good side of the coin and the bad side, you know, to every situation. Even if we don't find out what the good is or what the lesson is for years down the line, it's having that courage and strength to continue on, not knowing why, not knowing what the lesson is, not knowing the outcome. You know, is something going to be a success or a failure? But then doing it anyway. There's risk for both, right? There's risk of success, there's risk of failure, and pretty much everything that we do. And to just say, you know, I always say it. I think I'm afraid of success sometimes. You know, I'm just comfortable in this little place where I'm at in my career because it's comfortable. Meanwhile, I don't have a dollar to my name, and I was, up until last week, working 50, 60, sometimes 70 hours a week. And why am I so comfortable there? Because then nothing more is expected of me, right? I could just stay here in this little role. And if it paid the bills, that'd be good enough for me. But Jules, what this is saying is, don't let anything discourage you. I also want to mention for you specifically, okay, your team is showing me that you really need to stay on task with your intuition, like stay on point with your intuition, because I feel like some things are coming up in the situation you're talking about right now, and maybe beyond that too, but definitely here, where somebody is going to get something wrong. Right. So this would be like a doctor giving a wrong, accidentally mixing a medication that can't be mixed. Or this is possibly somebody who everyone thinks has really good intentions taking care of your dad, and you just deep down inside you're like irked. It's like, don't let that person alone with your dad. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it will be that, but it's that serious. It's like something here is about to almost go very wrong. And unfortunately, it's like the universe is kind of giving you this test of like, how far will you go to defend your own instinct and to say, no, like, I understand, for example, that's what the doctor said, but I need to check that. I need to check that. Like, don't give him that medication. Let me check that. Right. Or, whatever the case may be for you. I feel like there's going to be a lot of pushback on you for not just like immediately accepting something as that's the way it is. And you're just because you know something different. And this is your connection that you've built and cultivated over a lifetime, really, but more so in the last few years with spirit, where now they're giving direct messages to you and you're getting them and you're following through with them to the best of your human ability, right? But how well will you stand for them against peer pressure in others? And I do feel like people are trying to pressure you and bully you into making a very, very quick snap decision or snap judgment. Your team is like, we will tell you the right thing to think, say, feel, and do when the time is right. Don't be rushed into anything in the next couple of weeks, specifically decisions regarding your health, someone else's health. I'm seeing the healthcare system here. And you're more than welcome. I know that this is a really hard time for you, and you've been going through so much over the past few years. And I mean, we all have, some of us more so though. And my heart and my mind and my prayers are definitely with you. We can only do the best that we can. And I think that's why this connection to spirit that we all have, for us to cultivate it and challenge it sometimes, is really, really necessary for us to grow and to learn and to be able to navigate life while on a higher spectrum. Mark, I'm going to use the Gothic Oriole Oracle. Medication, his GI doctor had given him, which directly. Okay. So I definitely picked up on that. Then maybe what they're saying is like, use that going forward, that like you stood your ground and you knew what you were talking about. So that lesson is going to come into play in the next couple of weeks again, where like you could be even more confident now. Like, no, that may be what it is. You're talking to so-and-so and you're like, that may be what it is. Like, this may be right, but I need to check. It doesn't sit well in my spirit. And it's okay to say that. Doctors aren't infallible. All right, Mark. Card number 29. The Ashen Queen. Reflection, overthinking, and peace. There are times in life when we just need to stop and reflect on where we are on our path. There's no sorrow here, just a need to have a goal, something to plan for and look forward to. Meditation and visualization may be needed to calm the mind and give you some guidance. You know that. You're good at the meditation part of it. Whatever you need to do to relax, find the time to do that. When days are overloaded with the demands of modern life, it can be stressful, and sometimes we need permission to just be kind to ourselves. Make plans to do the things which make you happy. Reconnect with nature, walk, dance, laugh, whatever it is. Time to be just you is much needed now. So, Mark, yeah, I just feel like this is more about taking that time for you, right? And I feel like you do that. You're aware enough to where you can feel and sense and understand when you're becoming too overloaded and too overwhelmed, even if it's just spiritually, because it hits us spiritually before it hits us physically and before we're cognizant of it. Our spirit will suffer, and then in the coming days and weeks, we'll start to see the physical decline and the mental kind of cloudiness and fogginess. Jules, I love you, baby. This is you recognizing it long before that happens. If you're doing something now, taking that time for yourself, even just a few minutes a day, continue doing it. Again, kind of like what I said to Jules, don't let someone pressure you into not doing whatever you do for self-care every day. Like, hurry up, we've got to rush and go pick up so-and-so, or hurry up, we got to go do XYZ. It's like, you should never be rushing through self-care. It should be one of the most important things, like one of the top priorities on your to-do list every single day. And most of us can't make time for that every single day. Mark, I also feel as though physically in the next couple of weeks, I don't know, like, if this is something with your blood or could be the dialysis, I would say just be extra careful around that. Make sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, no cheating, make sure you're not doing anything you're not supposed to be. The ashen part of this card kind of hit me in the face, where it's like, okay, what happens? What's going on with the body when the face or the skin becomes ashen? And I'm thinking like, you could be having some issues here with the whatever the dialysis is treating, or something with your blood. So just make sure, again, you're not blowing off doctor's appointments. You're taking time to care for yourself the right way, regardless of who understands it or agrees with it. We are grown adults. We don't need anybody to agree with the things we're doing in our lives, Jules, that's perfectly fine, honey. Go do you and reach out anytime. Mark, be extra careful, yeah, with your body, with your physicality, with what you're putting into your body, and also protecting yourself spiritually from attack. I don't think it's anything like demonic, but there's some lower vibrational stuff going on around you that if you continue the self-care and the meditations, the things that you're already doing, you're going to be fine, because I feel like you're going to spot it a mile away. This is just the universe, like, reiterating, like, be on guard. The devil lurks, or whatever you want to call it. Miss Divine.
If you got this, I'll just go ahead and go.
Well, I can read. What do you want from me? You're putting it in the chat. Are you always anemic, or is that a new development? I'm just curious, because that never came up before. Miss Divine, are you still here? I'm sure she is, but I just want to make sure. And where did Blue go? He didn't comment. He's probably on the phone. All right, I'm going to pull Divine's card if you want to just make a note of the time in case she comes back in. Thank you so much. See, that's what I need you for. That's the best time that I found, and that I've been told, that's the best time for quiet time, is first thing in the morning. Like, I always used to reach immediately for my phone to, like, check the weather, check, my socials and everything. I go as long as I possibly can in the morning without touching my phone. I usually last about a half hour, which it's better than nothing. When we immediately plug in like that, depending on what's there, can really set a great or rotten tone for our day. And when you're first waking up and coming out of your dreams or nightmares or your sleep state, you are a little bit more connected. Like the full connection hasn't broken yet from you and your higher self and the divine realms we roam in our sleep. So that is a really good time. Also right before bed, but I think more people know that. Like right in the morning, that's a good time. Miss Divine, you got Ishtar, the card of communion, card number 24 in the reverse. Oh, there you are. Hey, Nordland. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I know it's bad for me. I know, but I've given up so much and I'm just not going to do it. I went down another half notch on the nicotine though, so I'm very, very low. What's up, Smoochy girl? All right, Divine, when you refuse to see the signs, it can ultimately take you down a path you really don't want to be on. When red flags indicate something's not quite right, it's not a sign to jump in with both feet. It says this is not for you. This is not yet. This is yet to be revealed. If you choose to move forward stubbornly, you could find yourself back in an old lesson you'd rather not face again. When you're attached to an outcome and unable to see another option, you might say, the oracle said this wasn't in my best interest, but I'm going to do it anyway. The truth is that the goddess Ishtar is offering this alignment task for you now. Trust that the wisdom in the universe will provide with perfect form, but divine timing. This means you might have to wait for a while, reconnect to your partnership with the goddess, and trust that you will not be left behind. This connection is at the core of everything. So I almost bought some Blue Lotus gummies today, but I didn't have enough money. I didn't have any money. I wanted them so bad. They were like $29. I've taken them once before. They helped me so much. I took like a quarter of a gummy each time, and I take it a couple times a week when I became like really, really overwhelmed, but I just didn't have the money. Divine, I feel like you, all right, Mark, that's cool. I feel like you already, not THC. I hate THC. I hate marijuana. I'm talking about Blue Lotus. That's what it's called. Yeah. It's like a teeny tiny psychedelic. It's like maintenance psychedelic. I don't know how to explain. Anyway, I feel like you're very connected to your instinct, your intuition, to spirit. I mean, you read tarot as a business, and I just don't see how you could be. No, my Suboxone block CBD. I don't see how you could miss whatever this is, but I feel like there is a chance, not so much for you to miss it, but there's something coming in the next couple of weeks that I feel like it has you very, very excited, but there's something within you that is like, I shouldn't do this. And then the other 99% of you is like, what are you talking about? Like, this is what we've been waiting for, right? This is what we've meaning you and your spirit team, like, this is what we've been waiting for this whole time. This is what we've been working towards. There is something off in whatever this offer is, whatever this thing is. I don't know if it's like a raise at your job or a new home you're moving into or a new romantic relationship. It's like everything, like all the boxes are checked except your instinct and your intuition is telling you, I better wait on this. Do you stubbornly go forward and defy your team? That never works out for us. If you do decide to do that, you're going to learn right back in, or you're going to end up learning right back in the same lessons that you've taken years to prove to the universe you've learned, so that you don't have to go through it again. So you can vibrate higher and ascend and move right on past it. But this is like, the universe is like, okay, so what do you do when it's like everything you ever wanted in some situation? Because something is wrong with, I don't know, again, if this is a relationship or something to do with work, or it just seems a little bit too good to be true, right? This hit me. So this could be, it's like believing someone when they apologize, or believing someone when they say they understand, or you know what I mean? Like, there's someone here who's just like really has you believing their BS, even if it's just for like a little bit, like, and then you snap back into reality. It's like that little point in time where you're unsure. Don't make any decisions at that point. I hope I'm coming through clear tonight, guys. Like I said, I'm a little bit spiritually messy tonight, a little bit disconnected. I'll be back on my game, when I can get back to being fully focused. Baby UFO, long time no see. How are you? Who is next, sir?
What, you didn't read that?
Nope.
Eris,
All right.
we're on the list. Your members are done.
Okay.
As of right now.
Eris, I'm going to use Cowgirls and Aliens. Jarvis, what do you mean? Am I mispronouncing your name? Is it like Kai or something and I'm just saying it wrong? I'm saying Cowie. Eris, yeah, I like this deck. It's a little more low-key than most of them. It's a newer one. Kawaii. Kawaii? Is that it? I'm probably still going to call you Cowie just because I'm used to it, unless you have like a real aversion to me doing that. Oh, okay, Gerbil Milker, okay. I was like, I'm not going to be able to remember this. You know how like when you meet someone and like, I don't know if this is the same for you guys, but like, when you meet someone and someone like gets their name wrong, but then like you have it in your head that that's that person's name. So you can never like, for example, I remember asking this guy, and I became good friends with him for many years. I said, "What is your name?" And he was talking to someone else and he said something, something, something sick. And I was drunk and I was like, "Oh, Sid. Okay." But the guy's name was Pete. But because I had like in my head, his name was Sid, I called him that for like the rest of our friendship. And still to this day, when I see him on Facebook and stuff, I call him Sid. Because it was just, I don't know him as anything else. Anyway, Miss Eris, you got card number 8, the bartender. I will give others support and listen with empathy. That is surely what a bartender does. The bartender is always in the saloon, ready to talk when you need to. For some of her patrons, she's the only stable person in their tumultuous lives. She's sensitive to their feelings and encourages them to open up. Because she's grounded and secure in her own emotion, she's willing to give to other people. Thank you, Miss Jasmine. Sure, just give me a few minutes. We do like first come, first serve. There's not that many people ahead of you, and then I will get right to you. Thank you for that donation. I do appreciate it. When you're in a good place, the bartender encourages you to support the people around you. Listen attentively and with empathy. Maybe they might want advice from a friend or just to vent and discover their own solutions by putting their worries into words. Ask them to pull up a stool, grab a whiskey, and tell you everything. So, Eris, I feel like what we're dealing with here is not so much like, it's not that you don't listen with empathy, right? And it's not that you're not there. I feel like there's something coming in the next couple of weeks where it's like you're being more intuitive about the situation than the person that's coming to you, right? This is that unbiased lens where we can step outside of a situation, look at it, and know exactly like what the issue is, how to fix it. But when we're in the situation, we're blinded to certain things, or we don't want to accept certain things. And it's like you have the view of the unbiased lens, the outside of oneself. The problem is, I don't think the person or the people that you're dealing with actually want advice. I don't think that they want you to tell them what the issue is, even if you know, and that may sound like really stupid or pointless. You know, certain personality types are like, well, if you don't want me to fix it, then why are you telling me? And some of us just don't work that way. I feel as though it's going to be very important for you in the next couple of weeks when someone comes to you for advice or venting about something, not when someone comes to you venting, I should say, I don't think they're actually looking for advice. So keep that part of it to yourself unless they explicitly and specifically ask you for your advice. Even if you know with absolute certainty what the answer is, I feel like this person, I'm seeing an energy of someone who just is desperate for someone to listen, just desperate for someone to hear them and hear what they're saying. And this person already knows the answer. I think they just need someone like you to hear them and let them know that they've been heard. On the other end of this, I would also say if this is your energy and you're the one that needs the bartender, quote unquote, to make sure that if you don't want advice, make it clear. Oh, thank you, Miss Smoochie. Make it clear, because I do feel like if this is your energy, somebody could misconstrue your venting or, you know, whatever it is that you're saying to them, and they could end up saying something that offends you. Right. So, and we're not highly offensive. Usually empaths aren't, because we understand that everyone has different ideas, and, you know, we're not really in that area. But I do feel like this could be where you're just like venting about, you know, and I'm just giving a silly example, your jerk boyfriend being 10 minutes late, and this person takes that as the opportunity to rip into your boyfriend about what a horrible loser person they are. And like, this could end up causing a big clash, whether it's your energy doing the bartending or whether it's you pulling up the whiskey and telling your story. Be very, very mindful of the fact that nobody here wants advice. Somebody just wants to be heard. And it could end up really ruining a friendship or a relationship if you don't keep this in mind. You're responsible for this because you're the empath and you're the one that's vibrating higher wherever your energy lies. So, Miss Jasmine, first of all, thank you. That was awesome to just pop in with a nice donation. I do always appreciate that. I pull one card for everyone who comes in, and I always get some sort of answer if you guys ask a question. It's definitely not very in depth like it would be for like a personal, but I do everything I can to pull as much information about your question as I can. So please just hang tight, and thank you so much. Don't leave. A lot of people get tired of waiting and leave, but there's not that many people ahead of you, so you should be good. All right, who's next?
We're gonna do Eris next because I called her.
I just did Eris.
You did?
The bartender was Eris.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Somehow I got misplaced. Go ahead and do Jasmine then. Since she's new, she dropped to 20 basically.
Okay. Let me just get back to her question. So,
Miss
Jasmine,
I got it. Just stop right there. There you go.
Thank you, Miss Jasmine. This is yours. What's up, Nutslap? I would like to ask about love. I'm ready for a relationship, and I also want to know if my Nick. What?
Sorry. Go ahead.
What did you say? Okay.
I said bad dragon. I said I'm not a bad dragon.
If my Nick Taurus, my friend, will pursue me romantically, or if we will break this friendship boundary. I will do everything I can to get you an answer, and I'm going to use the Lantern Oracle. You're welcome, Miss Eris. All right. Strength of vulnerability. So I'll read what the card says and then I'll tell you what I'm pulling in. True power lies at the root of a perceived weakness. Is Life with Bobby here? I did not see her come in, but if you're here, welcome, welcome. Oh, there she is. All right, Miss Jasmine, card number 4. And we are using, again, the Lantern Oracle. I know, Nutsub. We're going to have to figure it out after or Sunday because it's only you and RJ, and you guys are on different systems. So I'm on the PS5, he's on the Xbox, and you're on the PC. But all right. Feelings of vulnerability arise when we are treated as if we are or we believe ourselves to be incapable of adequately protecting or providing for ourselves. It may be that we feel somewhat dependent or insecure in a relationship, whether it be intimate, social, familial, profession, situation, or place. Our vulnerability presents us with the fears and the uncertainty we need to confront and overcome in our personal development. Therefore, what frightens us can be used as the catalyst to discovering our inner resources and the capacity of self-empower and outgrow any perceived limitations. If we listen to and accept our feelings of weakness and what seems threatening, we can identify effective ways to prepare and learn to support ourselves to survive them, master them, and thrive beyond them. As the maiden, you are a warrior. Your life experiences and current resources are not random, but perfectly equip you to take on whatever makes you feel vulnerable. You are at the threshold of realizing your inherent strength. To know what you are capable of involves daring to experience the full spectrum of yourself. This includes exploring what you believe you are not. It could help to ask yourself, how would I handle this situation if I did not feel inadequate? In what ways can my current feelings of vulnerability be perceived as a strength? Write down your answers before further asking yourself, how can I creatively mobilize this strength to make me feel confident in taking the necessary steps to confront or navigate my way beyond what feels threatening to me? Hey, Anthony. The maiden encourages you to recognize your vulnerability as a training ground for developing the necessary skills, resources, and support network to gain a sense of self-mastery and strength over any perceived weakness. The maiden's message, your vulnerability is where you recognize your power. So immediately when I pulled this card, Jasmine, I was like, oh yeah, I don't know where your question went. I needed that up there.
I got it. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I got it. There we go.
So immediately I was like, I definitely believe that you are ready for a romantic relationship, or at least you feel like you are. There are always parts of us that are vulnerable and that are scared of something new, new love or crossing a boundary between friendship into something romantic. The idea of vulnerability and what I'm seeing here with like what your team is bringing in is like you are allowing yourself to be vulnerable in this relationship. And basically, even if not literally, inviting this person to pursue you romantically by being vulnerable. I do believe that you and this person are going to take this friendship to the next level, or at the very least try to. What the universe, what your spirit, they're kind of showing me this whole thing where it's like, for you, being in this more than friendship space with this person could be just what you need to help you master that vulnerability to move on into something that you're really ready for and something that's really for you. So while I do see this person pursuing you and you and he, breaking the friendship boundary, if you will, I don't know that it's going to be a long-term thing, but I feel like it will happen regardless. I don't think it's going to be a very long time before it does. I feel like, 3 to 6 months and you guys will probably be on a date or however you guys decide to take it to the next level. But I feel like this is a lesson that you really need. I don't even want to say lesson. this is an experience that you really need, because it's going to build you back up so much, because this person was put into your life to really kind of seal up those vulnerable areas, those areas of fear and where there's not much confidence in you, right? We all have those small areas, and some of us bigger than others. So while I do see you and this person getting closer, possibly becoming intimately romantic, I don't know. And I mean, you can always check back. I'm here every week. I don't know right now that it's really meant to be anything super duper serious and everlasting, but I definitely feel like it's going to have a huge impact on you, on your spirit, on your life in general, and on your capacity to heal. This is like such a healing thing for you, because this is somebody you already trust. This is already a friend. So letting this person in is a little easier than a complete and total stranger. And I think this person needs that just as much as you do. Just make sure you don't do that typical Libra overthinking and end up overthinking your way out of the friendship and anything romantic. And I would say definitely, yes, this person is interested in pursuing you. You may have to show them a little bit of vulnerability, a little bit more openness, letting them know that you are ready to take things further. And I do feel like it will definitely be something that stands out in your life as a well-learned moment in time, but I don't see it being like, this is love. I don't see love of my life energy there, if that makes sense. I hope that helps. It's really hard with one card. Who's
Okay.
next?
Area 51, Juan, are you here? Let me know now.
Jasmine, that's good. And I feel like that's what's really opening him up, because I don't think this started with him like having the idea to pursue this. And sometimes if we don't give guys that vulnerability or those signs, they think they've been friend zoned. It could be something we didn't really think of, or something we have thought of, but like we don't want to cross that boundary. I feel like you guys are good to go, and it's going to be something really amazing regardless of how long it lasts. And I don't think the friendship is ever going to be completely dissolved. I think you both need to learn from each other. And this is like the best possible way to do it, because again, it's somebody you already know and care for, and that respects you and, you know, sees you a certain way and knows you. So the vulnerability that you're showing him, it's like it's already there, right? And I think that's why it's going to be so easy and so amazing, but also why it may not last the rest of your life. It's kind of like an order in meal prep, right? It's like ready made. So you only have to go through a couple of pre-prepared steps. Whereas, you know, you got to go out and do a whole dinner without a recipe, and you only have the ingredients. Do you know what I mean? It's much less pressure, and it's going to make it that much more special. Juan, let us know if you're here and if you want a reading, please.
Go ahead and do nut slap. Then after nut slap, go ahead and do sin.
All right, we'll do Sir Slappy and then my aunt Cinny. Nut slap, I'm using Aether Creatures. And Sin, RJ was on. He saw you and Nikki playing Sims today. And he's like, can you text them and tell them I want to play? And I'm like, So I have to like pretend to text you guys sometimes throughout the day. But he starts his day camp on Monday. No more lessons. Well, this is a good lesson though, Jasmine. This is like a good lesson of like how to trust more, and like how to not hold new people accountable to the past, and how to release old hurts and wounds. And it's a beautiful thing. It's not like a hard lesson where like you're going to be treated badly or cheated on, or it's like, oops, here we go again. This is something really good. I didn't see anything negative about this at all. You're welcome, sweetie. I don't think he even has that game. The problem is, I'm so like, he is not independent, Anson. And like, I don't get like a second to breathe with this kid home. So I'm so glad that he is starting this day camp, right? And then we have vacation for his birthday, because it's only been since Monday. And I am like drained beyond measure. in all areas. He's always asking for Nikki to play Fortnite with him, but I don't like to bug her. Well, next time we see you guys on, I will definitely tell him then that he can text you. So, Divine, I was able to get a beachfront condo from July 14th to the 17th in Wildwood Crest, which is great. I'll be paying back that royalty loan for probably a couple years with the way my books sell, but it was totally worth it. He opted for that instead of like a big birthday party thing. But I still need to get him a few things. And I was so blessed to be able to do that because that's like, I love it there. Like I would never leave Wildwood if I could. Nut slap, are you listening? Because this is a little concerning just because I don't even want to say the name of this creature, but I'm going to, but I don't want to. Yeah, he's going to a day camp at the middle school up here where they're going to do like learning activities and
I don't know what happened. Give her a minute. She's having internet problems. We've got storms going on here, so if I blank out, that might be why. I've got storms right underneath all around me, so yeah, give her a minute. Not a low battery, just you might have a low battery. But yeah, give her a minute, see if we get it fixed. She's glitching. I don't know if she can hear me. See what happens here. She may have to reload in. Yeah, after Nut Slap will be Sin. Skyline, Area 51. Please let me know your Skyly and Area 51. If you let me know, I don't think Area 51's still here. But Skyly, if you're still here, let me know so we can call you. And then after, if none of them answer, and after Sin, it will be, if those two don't answer, will be Andrew. Give her a minute. Let's see what happens here. She might have lost internet. There she is. Hold on. It says she's trying to come back in. Give her 1 minute. And we'll get back to rocking again. Did it just go out or?
That is exactly what I'm talking about with this kid. Okay. He borrows my computer and I'm like, the last time I let him borrow it, I went on Wayne and Michelle's show and I had no audio and I had to wear headphones. And I'm like, you can't ever use my computer again. That is it. So after about, how long has that been? Like a month or so today, I was like, go ahead, you can use it because he likes to just type and learn his words and learn how to type. And I'm like, make sure you plug it back in. So he plugged it in on the side, but he accidentally unplugged the cord from the computer to the wall. So it just died. I'm sorry, Miss Divine. So I did read for you already. What was Divine's card?
I got the time stamped. I'm getting ready to put it in the comments.
This is what it looked like. Ishtar in the reverse. Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like, I'm just a mess. Okay, Nut Slap. I didn't want to say this name, but I'm going to have to. You have card number 18 in the reverse, and it's Baphomet. Carrie, yes, you absolutely may. And I'm sorry, guys, for that. I'm usually really good with checking, but because my computer just sits and never moves, I wasn't thinking about it. You're welcome, sweetie. All right, 18. If Baphomet has appeared to you in reverse, you are currently stuck in endurism. Baphomet is not coming to remind you that you are strong enough to go through what you are experiencing and that there's value in what you are experiencing. Instead, he's turning his back on you because, metaphorically speaking, you are needlessly staying in the flames of the fire. Have you heard the saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, or no pain, no gain? Well, Nut Slap, these sayings all help you to release resistance when you're stuck in a painful situation. Releasing resistance is a good thing, but these ways of thinking can also serve as justifications for not actively making changes so as to move beyond a painful situation. In short, they can serve to keep you stuck in pain. Endurism is just as unhealthy as escapism. It's a coping strategy, a way of dealing with the perception that you are helpless to get your needs met. Boy, I wonder who else I know that deals with that on a daily basis. Unfortunately, it will only ensure that you spend your life coping with pain instead of creating a life that you actually enjoy. If Baphomet appears to you in reverse, you most likely believe there is some virtue in choosing to keep suffering in a situation where you could technically get out of the suffering instead. We often stay in situations and perpetuate situations that are causing us pain so we can feel like we're good and we're doing what's right. It's a form of martyrdom. When we're young, what we want is for someone to love us unconditionally. We want them to be connected to us no matter what. As a result, we develop the idea that if someone loves us, they will endure any amount of pain to be with us. Essentially, we all desperately want someone to say, I'd rather be in pain and with you than happy without you. But over the course of a relationship, we begin to incrementally cause them pain and put them in painful situations with us. We're doing this subconsciously but deliberately to try to create the experience of someone loving us so much that they will endure anything to be with us. Sooner or later, an endurer is going to break. Endurism is to blame for most chronic illness, terminal illness, most especially. If we endure, the universe will eventually put us in a quote-unquote change or die scenario, so that we will get back on board with expansion. If Baphomet has come to you in reverse, become acutely aware of the situations in your life that you think you have to endure. Notice the excuses you make so as to justify enduring those situations. Look for ways you actually do have even some sort of choice in the situations you feel stuck in. Look at things you could do to make a change. Stop enduring the situation and change it. Get out of the flames. Get out. No, I love you, and I hate this for you. This would be, let me give you a Gemma example, okay? This would be like you feel that you can't move out of your parents' house because it would upset your mom too much, and she might feel unloved or abandoned, right? I'm just saying any example that makes sense in my head to help you to understand, right? This is like, you don't want to leave your mom living alone, so you can't move out. But at the end of the day, technically, you can, right? In that situation. Whatever the situation is for you, Nutslap, the universe is saying, look, you don't have to make any major moves. You don't have to tomorrow be like, I'm out this piece, right? And leave mom high and dry. And again, that's not your situation for anyone listening. That's not this. It's just my example situation. But what the universe is telling you to do is expand beyond this endurism and this feeling of being stuck, and find all the ways that you're not, even if it's long-term thinking, right? Like, okay, if I get a new job that pays more money, or if I stop spending money on whatever, and put that money aside and save it instead, within 6 months' time, I could have my own apartment for this much money, right? This is just like, even the small thing of floating these ideas, keeping these ideas alive and burning through your mind so that you don't feel stuck, so that you can opt out at any time. Because feeling stuck and trapped in a situation that you're not that happy in, I can't say 100% happy, because I don't think anyone's 100% happy most of the time. The most I can deal with is like 90%. And then I'm like waiting for the other shoe to drop or like a bomb to fall, like when I'm not happy. But it's like, we don't have to be in so much pain or negativity either. There should definitely be at least a 70-30 balance with us on the upswing of we're happy and content in our lives. You want a partner, I believe. You want a romantic relationship with the right person. You don't want to do the dramatics anymore. You're right on the Pisces Aries cusp. So you are like the epitome of, I'll love you no matter what, and I'll never leave you, but don't get tough with me or I'll crack you across the jaw. Like, I'm not saying you'd hit a woman. I'm just saying you're very like extremes, right? Like, And that's okay. That a lot of cusp people are, but Pisces and Aries is a rough one because that is like extremely incredibly sensitive. So like, I don't give an F and I will tear you down. And I see that in you, right? Even in like, you're joking. Sometimes you're ruthless and I've got to be like, oh, that's just him. Nuts up. In the next couple of weeks, start looking for where your pain is, where you're feeling stuck, right? And then start at least telling yourself practically how you can become unstuck, even if you're not going to do any of those things, right? So you can become unstuck. Say the example is you're living with your mom, and that is what's causing you a lot of grief. You feel stuck. You don't want to upset her, but recognize the ways you're not stuck, even if you never act on moving out, right? This is a step-by-step process here. So eventually the universe will expect you to act on that and take control of the narrative. But for right now, it's just like recognizing where you're not stuck, how you can be unstuck, and how you can get out of endurism. And endurism is something I haven't really talked about a lot on this channel, but that I am very, very familiar with as a concept. And I think maybe I might bring it up a little bit more. Mark Halstead said, Gemma, that sounds very familiar. When happy, waiting for something bad to happen. I can't help it. And I've recently come to learn that the maintenance medication, specifically the one that I'm on, it takes a lot of like emotion away. So like being excited for things, my excitement is like, wow, I can't wait for that. That's me excited. Not because that's how I want to be, but that's just like my personality now. It takes a lot of your personality away. But there's a difference between that and like the actual not feeling anything because you're so numb to everything going on around you. We can't have that either. And if you feel like you have no time for a relationship and that's something you really want, find all the ways, write them down, even ingrain them into your head. Find all the ways where you do have time or you can make time. Like, I'm not going to play Fortnite all weekend with Gemma because I'm going to be out looking for someone to take on a date. You know, I'm just saying. All right, Aunt Cindy. I would like to use the Halloween Oracle. Blue, exactly. Mama Cindy, hello. Geez, another Cindy. My goodness. He said, no, I'll be playing Fortnite. I got my first victory royale in Blitz Royale. All by myself in a solo. Yeah. But Blue, it won't be forever, right? Because you have a plan. You're working with the other person or people involved. You're a very action-oriented person. And just from like reading for you, getting to know you personally and knowing more of your situation than what we talk about publicly, I feel like the person you're dealing with really needs an action-oriented person. And Aunt Thin, yes, I think that's like my new favorite game. I got to play it for the first time today because, again, RJ's been home all week and he doesn't like playing on the Xbox because it's in his bedroom and the PS5 is in my bedroom. And why would he ever want to spend time in his bedroom with a projector with a Fire Stick attached to it, an Xbox, a PS4, a flat screen TV, 2 Kindles, a tablet, 7,500 phones, his own bed? I mean, why would he want to spend time in there? He wants to be in my Oh, Cindy's, yeah. There's lots. Actually, my Uber driver to Funplex last Tuesday was also named Cindy, and she was just Cindy, though. I asked her, are you Lucinda or Cynthia? She was like, no, just Cindy. I was like, that's even rarer to find someone who's not a Cynthia. All right, Aunt Cindy. Ancestors, the love and legacy of our DNA. I wonder what happened to Steve in there. Oh, I know. And sin, whether or not we know our ancestors, we are the product of those who have lived before us DNA-wise. Externally, we may have the body type of our father, our mother's eyes, our grandmother's nose, our great-grandfather's skin tone. On the inside, it gets even more interesting. We know now that we can inherit the way our body works, blood types, genetic disorders, even propensities for aspects of brain function like introversion, musicality, and mathematics. Many pagan paths associated with Halloween believe that we are born perfectly imperfect to be exactly what we are meant to be. Excuse me, what does this mean? It means that the gifts our ancestors have left us and the unique synergy of the combination of the physical and mental that is created within us sets us up perfectly to achieve our ultimate purpose. Should the ancestor card bring itself to your attention, know that you are ready and able to action your birthright of power. You have the support of those who came before you. There may be challenges or struggles, but you have everything you need to overcome them. You will prevail. So, Anson, I feel like with this one, it's like you are really struggling. You could also be, I mean, I know that's so cliche. You're struggling. I mean, obviously we all are. Duh, Gemma. What's up, Aunt Edna? But like, this is something that I feel like could be making you feel emotionally in a way you haven't felt in a really long time. Either it's helpless or confused. Like, you're a Pisces too. And it's like we usually are on point with why we're feeling the way we're feeling, who's the cause of it. Like, we know our emotions, what they are and where they come from a very young age. Pisces suns and Pisces moons specifically. So there's something going on now where it's like, no matter what you try to do, and if you're not dealing with this, it is coming in. It's probably already happening though. No matter what you try to do, it's like you're being almost led to go against your instinct. Your intuition that knows someone's lying, that knows this is never going to work out, that knows a second, third, fourth, fifth chance just isn't it. There's something like you're being misguided almost, if not manipulated, into making what you know is the wrong choice. And this is the universe saying, like, your whole team is behind you. Whenever you feel like maybe you're being watched, and I'm not talking about in a scary way, right? Like, I know you have a lot of scary things happen to you, but I'm talking about like when you feel like you're being watched, or you just feel a comforting feeling, or you smell a familiar scent. I just feel like all of your deceased loved ones are kind of rallying around you right now for something that you're dealing with and going through, and they're lending you their strength. So to go against your instinct and intuition, what you know to be the truth, so as not to make someone mad, hurt someone's feelings, to not have to deal with someone's crap, right? It would be like telling them, like, I don't need you. It's almost offensive in a way, if that makes sense. They're giving you everything they possibly can to try to help you through this spiritually, internally, energetically, because a lot of the reasons you were in some of the bad situations you were in or negative situations you were in is because you inherited the propensity for whatever it was, right? Where they say ancestral curses or ancestral shackles, where like one generation after another keeps having the same issues until it reaches that one person who finally breaks that pattern. I feel like I'm that in some areas of my life, particularly on the other side. Not really so much the side you're on, the other side. But I feel like for you, it's like something you've always wanted to accomplish or wanted to achieve. It's like you're right there on the precipice of it, but it's almost like you're ingrained or like you've been trained to like put yourself last. So I'm just going to use an example. I'm not saying this is your situation. It's just an example. So Anson, this would be like, for example, you were in a long-term relationship and this person either lied to you or cheated on you or whatever the case may be, right? And you left them. You were strong and confident that you were going to leave them. And then you went back, and this has been gone back and forth a few times. And every single time you go back, this person just falls right back into the same patterns of behavior and proves to you that your instinct all along, which knew this person was not going to change and you were just walking back into a trap, like you knew that was going to happen, but you were just ingrained, emotionally ready to give them the benefit of the doubt, regardless of your best instinct. It's like, not this time though. And I don't think a lot of people around you, particularly whoever this is that's involved here, whether it be romantic or otherwise, they're not going to understand it because it's almost out of character for you to put yourself first. This is the universe telling you, you might start having dreams of like grandma or some of your siblings that have passed. You might be having dreams or like daytime visions of them, or you might hear their voice or smell their scent. They are giving you the strength to break those generational ideas that like you're not allowed to put yourself first. How do you think that person's going to feel if you do? Well, that person is the person who has basically destroyed and blew up your life. So who cares what that person thinks? You do, mainly because you're a Pisces and we love with all we've got. But don't forget about our vindictive side. And you need to start living in that vindictive side when it comes to whoever this person is. Care about this person's feelings as much as they cared about yours when they were doing whatever they were doing to hurt and harm you and destroy you. Metaphorically, right? Every deceased loved one that you can think of right now, Anson, is showing me there is no reason for you to step back into a situation that it's already been proven time and time again to you that it's toxic. It doesn't matter who understands it. It doesn't matter who likes it. It doesn't matter who thinks what, because at the end of the day, you're the person that has to live in it. And this is something, and I don't know how, I don't pretend to know how all this works, but with the ancestor card and the DNA stuff that I'm seeing that they're showing me, if you even look in the tree here, it's a DNA, a strand of DNA. This is somehow setting something in motion for your own kids and grandkids where like they're going to think about this one day when they're in this situation and be like, no, you know what? She was right. She was able to walk away from that regardless. And like, I'm going to do that. There's something set in motion of like from generations here, from just this one decision on you, no pressure. And I know that it's hard, but you have the support of every person you've ever loved and those you've never known, but who are blood related to you and to us. They've got your back and they want to see you make the right decision here and put yourself first for once. You deserve a lot better than whatever this is. And I think you know it deep down, but we were taught that we don't say that. That's so arrogant to say that. No, but you got to think of Toad too. Animals, especially when they're in spirit, they have emotions just like human beings do. And he, if he's there with you, cheering you on and seeing you cry or seeing you get hurt or even seeing you make the wrong decision, they feel that just as deeply and as viscerally as your human loved ones do. You've got to make the right decision for you at the end of the day. But I feel like this is reinforcement for you that you know what that right decision is. And it may be really hard decision, or it may be an easy one. You just don't want to deal with other people asking you questions. I mean, whatever it is, deep down inside what the right thing for you and for your life moving forward is to do. It's whether you're going to allow yourself to take the easy way or you're going to allow yourself to be talked out of it, but and you might be, again, having dreams, daytime thoughts, like in visions, kind of smelling, someone close to you that's passed. They are all like lined up to protect you from whatever this is. And he's there too. You don't have a dog in the house. You can't tell sometimes. I'll talk to you privately about that. Because I saw that even with Nikki in some of her pictures. Little Toad. Who's next?
Andrew, but he didn't answer. So are you here, Andrew? And do you want a card? But if he doesn't answer or doesn't want a card, do Aunt Edna because she's a member. So, hello, Edna. Sorry you're hurting so bad.
Yeah, and I hope you feel better, hon. Let's go with deep, dark, and dangerous. You're welcome, Aunt Sin. And I love you.
So you're doing Edna?
Yeah, this is for Aunt Edna. No, Mio. Let us know if you're here, because as soon as I'm done with this list, I am out. I'm taking every second I can get to myself. I don't even care. Guys, please don't forget to donate to PayPal or Cash App. I haven't gotten like really any donations in the last few weeks to those apps, and I really do need them. They're what get me through the weekend. No, he's not answering it, Edna. And we try to get members in first. This is the third week in a row this card has come up. I know it wasn't you who pulled it last week, but it's come up 3 weeks in a row. Card number 32, Dangerous, the Chimera, the card of synergy. This is just like in the air. And then the whole is more powerful than the parts alone. Experiment. There is power in new designs and ways. There may be people around you sowing discord. You know many things and have your own wisdom. Put all of this together to form something powerful. You have unique experiences and talents that can only be utilized by you. Who pulled this last week? That's right. You're Leo Lion. Homer gives a description of the Chimera in the Iliad, saying that she was of divine stock, not of men, in the forepart a lion, in the hinder a serpent, and in the midst a goat, breathing forth in terrible wise the might of blazing fire. I won't carry, don't worry. Edna's just a member, so we try to get them in first. Just hang tight. You're on the list. Where was I? There were many other descriptions, but bottom line, the Chimera was a creature made up of seemingly disparate parts, yet the parts worked together to create a stunning creature. And this was this you last week? The Chimera may have been frightening, but it was beautiful and harmonious in form too. While the Chimera sounds like something cobbled together like Frankenstein's monster, it wasn't. It was considered quite perfect in form and function, and was something to be viewed with wonder. While the Chimera appears in Greek mythos and art, she also appears in 4 BC Etruscan art and on Indus seals of that same period. The Chimera was born from 2 incredible Titan monsters, the Echidna and Typhon. Echidna was a giant half-woman, half-snake, and Typhon was a deadly serpent-like Titan born from Gaia and Tartarus. Sadly, the Chimera was killed by yet another hero, Bellerophon. I can never pronounce his name. The king of Lycia, Iobates, had it out for Bellerophon and wanted him eliminated. He ordered the young man to find and kill the Chimera, as it was killing the cattle of his farmers and devastating the country generally. The real reason was that he thought that the Chimera would simply eat Bellerophon, and that would be that. However, the king neglected to remember that the hero owned the infamous Pegasus, the winged horse, and flying above the Chimera, he was able to kill it from a safe height. Plant companion, Eagle-Singed Chimera, which is a kind of camellia, and your crystal companion is Amolite. I'm going to check because 2 weeks in a row someone pulled this card and now you're pulling it, and there are 70 some odd cards in this deck, so that means for it to keep coming out, and it's the only card I pulled tonight, so it's not like I've pulled several. It's just like an energy of synergy, right, of everything coming together. I feel as though Anna, the Chimera, the way it was viewed is almost probably how you feel right now, right? With your illness, feeling perhaps, physically weak, though you're so mentally and spiritually strong. And that's almost like an oxymoron, because I feel like people are perceiving you, some people are perceiving you as weak. And as you know, this could bring in that kind of energy that's going to try to take advantage and manipulate and play in your face. And not that I feel like you're having it, right? Because you're not going to take that from anybody. It's like the universe wants to make sure that you aren't looking at yourself in that way, and that you understand that this physical weakness is going to pass, even if it comes and goes, right? There is going to be a time when you're feeling better. don't allow yourself in this perceived moment of weakness, because it's not really. You're just physically feeling different, if that makes sense. Don't allow yourself in this perceived moment of weakness, your own perception, to like make amends with people that don't deserve it, or to allow people back into your life that you worked so hard to get them out and keep them out. Again, this I think has to do with the same person we usually talk about, and maybe some others as well, where it's like they see this as the perfect time to make themselves feel better about something they've done to you. So coming in now and being like, you know, I see that you're not feeling good, and I just want you to know, no matter what we've been through, I'm always here for you. Like, I'm hearing someone say that to you, and I'm seeing that in the back of their mind. They're just wanting forgiveness just in case, right? They're already thinking about the worst possible thing happening to you and them feeling scot-free if, God forbid, it ever does. It's selfish apology. But I feel like because you're so genuine, and because you may be having these moments of vulnerability where you feel like things are a lot worse than maybe they are, that you could end up almost falling for this, or actually falling for it. And this is going to bring that negative, toxic, manipulative, narcissistic, etc. energy right back in, which isn't going to help you heal in any way, on any level, and in any capacity. A lot of people have been coming to me for advice, a lot of trouble's going around, and continue to give it to the people that you deem worthy. But I want you to remember, the chimera looked like something cobbled together from Frankenstein's monster. So this is the weakness of your illness. It's not saying you look like something like that. It's just saying physically your illness would be what the chimera looked like. It's this thing that doesn't quite belong and makes you feel maybe sometimes a little bit less than or weaker than you actually are. But keeping in mind that it was perfect how it was. It was meant to be exactly what it was. You're a Leo. Here's your roaring lion, as you said. I feel as though in the next couple of weeks, someone is going to, like, I feel like this is you, like literally you, like the red eyes, the bare teeth, like, I will rip your throat out, mother effer, because now you've crossed a line with me. Be careful not to overexert yourself to prove a point. You can keep going about whether you feel well or don't feel well, keeping that integrity intact of like, I don't even need to respond to people like this. Someone is definitely going out of their way to try to cause you agitation, right? They're trying to get what they can from you. And I don't really know what this is. I just see like someone, again, trying to make a false amends just to make themselves feel better, just to have it covered in case they never get to talk to you again, before you come to your senses. This is someone thinking you're physically weak, so now is the time to try to get in good with you and get that yes answer they've been trying to get for years when you were a little bit stronger. Do you know what I'm saying? They're looking at you like this weak, grizzled old woman and trying to get one over on you. And I feel like you know exactly what it is, and you could even laugh it off. But there's one situation where you need to really like call in Jesus or whoever you call in to like protect you from doing something crazy and very much out of character. Very much justified, but out of character and really unnecessary when you're going to feel better. Again, even if this is an illness that comes and goes, it will go eventually, at least for a little while. Don't let anyone make you feel weaker or less than what you actually are. And definitely be very, very careful around people you know are deceiving you or trying to pull the wool over your eyes or trying to whatever you, because I feel like your give a darn is really like almost to the point where it's busted and you're just not caring anymore. You're like, you know what? I'm sick anyway. I'm finally going to get this person.
I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, I don't know. You got to like speak normal, sir. Goodbye. Who's next?
Andrew.
And good. Just keep that in mind, no matter how much you're kind of poked and prodded. Even just like keeping the person away altogether, not letting them use any excuse to weasel their way back in. You don't need them. You don't need them in your life. It's really unnecessary BS at this point. All right, Nomeo, I'm using Moonology, manifestation. Full moon in Gemini. Embrace the flow of life. Have you been fast talking lately, or is someone trying to fast talk you? Your best bet could simply be to keep quiet for a while. You or someone else in this situation needs some space. Taking a moment out of the constant carry on will allow you to see what's going on. There's a tug of war between worrying about all the details of how to solve your issue and taking a moment to get some more perspective. Let life flow. Gratitude will help. It's a good time to change your mind about someone or something. Strike a balance between talking rings around people and seeing what they have to teach you. It's important to accept where you are so you can move to where you want to be. Your manifestation affirmation: I share kind, loving words with the people in my life. So again, we're looking at someone who's being really tested. And I feel, Nomeo, too, that you're very back and forth in a situation. So I don't know if it's with a friend, with work, with a romantic interest. It really doesn't matter. The fact that you're back and forth and so unsure at times should give you your answer right there. If something's meant to be, it will, right? So the fact that you have to constantly and consistently ask yourself, is this right for me? Is this right? Am I the one? Am I the a-hole here? Like, I see some situation, you may not know what I'm talking about yet, but give it a few weeks, because I feel like something that started off as really, really amazing now has you questioning kind of everything you thought you knew in a certain area, right? This is you taking a break and getting an unbiased outlook. So not an unbiased opinion, an unbiased outlook. Stepping outside of the situation and thinking of someone that you know and care for very, very much, and putting them in the same situation, and then imagining they come to you for advice. What advice would you give them, and why are you not taking that advice? How can you move forward into taking that advice? Regardless, if you feel the absolute dire and total need to call someone out, to scream and shout, to yell something from the rooftops, to throttle somebody, literally or figuratively, take a break, take a step back, take a breath, really rethink whether or not this person, situation, relationship, whatever it is worth not only your time, not only your emotion, but your energy. And I think you'll see deep down that it's not. If you want to continue and like play this game with this person or with these people in this situation for fun because you're bored, that's fine. But like, you're just wasting energy here. There's something very disingenuous and possibly even toxic about what and or whoever this is. And I feel like there's a part of you that's picking up on that knows that. But at the same time, the part of you, like, just say this is about romance, the part of you that wants love could try to kind of blind you to that. So really keep checking in with your instinct and your intuition in any and all situations, even if you have to literally say, give me a second to think about that, or excuse yourself and go into another room or something, because I feel like whoever you're dealing with here really has the ability to kind of energetically overpower you and kind of take over. Where like, you had so much you wanted to say to their face, and then you get in their face and you suddenly have nothing to say, or like, you don't feel like saying it anymore. Be really careful with this, okay? I don't like this. I don't like manipulation of any kind. And I just feel like this is not what's right for you. But it's only when you're not in the situation or around the person or people that you can see it. Does that make sense? Take a little break, get some space, air the situation out a little bit, and I think you're going to come right to where you need to be in this situation, which is moving on. Cowie! Is Cowie next? And then when's Carrie coming up? She's been waiting for a little bit.
Yes, Carrie's next. And she's
Hello,
after
Miss
Carrie.
Donna.
And Carrie's after. And
Wait.
Cowie is next. Carrie is next.
So Cowie, then Carrie.
Yes.
Good. All right, Cowie, let's see. Let's use the Wonderland Oracle. Guys, I just want to mention once again, not to be a pain in your butt or to be pushy, PayPal and Cash App donations, everything that I'm getting on those apps is going towards RJ's birthday gifts from here until I think we'll be here on the 11th because his birthday is on the 13th. Actually, since I've said that, I haven't really received anything, so just putting it out there. Blue's sister's name is Donna. Everyone say hello to Miss Donna. She's not in here. She was on the phone with him, but she's very sweet. All right, Sir Cowie, what is going on here? Uncertainty, card number 39. Choose who you will become, and it's in the reverse position. The caterpillar and Alice looked at each other for some time in silence. At last, the caterpillar took the hookah out of its mouth and addressed her in a languid and sleepy voice. "Who are you?" said the caterpillar. This was not an encouraging opening for a conversation. Alice replied rather shyly, I hardly know, sir, just at present. At least I know who I was when I got up this morning, but I think I must have changed several times since then. When Alice meets the caterpillar, he wants her to tell him who she is and what she is. Alice feels she can't answer as she's changing so much on her journey through Wonderland. She's not used to being so tall. It feels strange to be so small, but her indecision, sadness, and uncertainty are not met with sympathy. Instead, the caterpillar gives her the chance to change herself to a size she feels comfortable with. He doesn't tell her how she should feel or what size she should be, but he does offer her the keys to self-empowerment by subtly letting her know she can choose her own size with the aid of a mushroom. It's rarely so easy. Empowerment cannot be instantaneously given to you. You can't decide what you want to be and immediately be it. It's a journey. On the way, you'll make errors of judgment, and it's only through the willingness to learn, experiment, try, fail, retry, fail again, that you will come to understand what must be done to be who you wish to be. Advice on what we must do to be empowered is on offer, but if you expect it to be easy, quick, or something another person does for us, you'll soon learn the process is trickier and more arduous. Ultimately, it's far more rewarding than you could ever have thought.
Sorry about that.
Reverse. It's okay. I know it happens by accident. You just got to figure out how not to scrape those buttons. They're so sensitive. Fear of following advice and learning through experience, wishing things were easier or more predictable, the belief that becoming who you wish to be ought to be simpler, wanting another to do the hard work or solve your problems for you. Cowie, wanting support but being unwilling to apply discipline or too scared to make the mistakes from which you'll learn. I don't really see that. I don't see you being afraid of the hard work. I don't see you kind of wanting to shirk responsibility in a situation. What I do see very clearly, actually, is you're just like, when is enough going to be enough in a situation? And I'll give you the perfect example. I've been on YouTube for 4.5 years, and I still barely cover the 100 that it takes for them to pay me out. There's a part of me that just wants to be like, I'm done, right? Like, why am I bothering this? There's nothing coming in. But then the other part of me is like, well, it can't just be about money. It has to be about the work and the effort. And I have to prove myself almost to the community. So I go back and forth. But there are times when I'm really frustrated and I'm done. And I feel like, Cowie, that's why they're showing me that. Because there's a situation I feel like you put so much time, effort, energy, even if it's just like thought energy into, it's like you've got it figured out. You're ready to move forward. but then something always happens to like stop it, or you change your mind for whatever reason, and it's got you wondering, is this what's meant for me or not? And the universe is saying, well, take a look around, because you already know the answer to that as well. And I really feel like this is your team telling you, like, do not give up on whatever this is. Whatever this is that has you feeling confused, feeling like giving up, feeling like maybe your best is never going to be enough. The universe is saying, like, it's a long, arduous process, Cowie. And we see things as humans on like a linear timeline. The universe, God, the creator, whatever you call it, it's like there's this eternal timeline, this eternal sight that it and they have that we don't. We're not privy to see how each decision we make every day is going to turn out. But each decision we make, down to the smallest thing, is going to affect us or someone else in some way. So, Cowie, for the next couple of weeks, keep working hard, keep pushing through. Don't overthink whatever this is. I feel like there's no situation that's imminent where like you need to make a decision immediately right away. Don't allow yourself to feel like you do. Take as much time, space, and energy like away that you need in order to make an informed decision. Because in a couple of months, I feel like you are going to have to come to terms one way or another with what and or whoever this is. I'll give you an example. Your job. You've been working there 10 years. Every year they offer you a promotion, but they never give it to you. They tell you got to work a little bit harder. So you do everything they say, but then they move the goalposts, and they've been doing this for 10 years. Are you going to work there in 11th year? It's like now is the time in the next few months to decide. And if not, where are you going to go? What are you going to do? And figuring out the lessons that you've learned in the past 10 years about people, about the way business works. I just ripped my nail off, about all of it. This long, hard road that seems kind of never ending, or like you're never getting to the finish line, in whatever area this is, Cowie, I want you to know that you are approaching the finish line. And the lesson, or the main lesson at least, is to show that you're never going to give up on something that you really, really want. We're not talking about a toxic romantic relationship that you should give up on, right? We're talking about you persevering through the worst things, and sometimes over and over again, and still showing up every day, and still getting up every day, and still being Cowie every single day. And that's what the universe needed to see. So whatever this struggle and suffering is, it is coming to an end very soon. I hope that makes sense, because that was a lot more channeled than what I normally, I kind of insert myself in. That was all spirit. Carrie, are you still here waiting, hon?
Please let us know.
Yeah, let us know, please. You're so welcome, Cowie. I appreciate you. Who's after Miss Carrie Ann Medina?
Well, you got Norland, Smoochie, Jarvis, Baby UFO, Life with Bobby, and Cindy Lee. If you folks are here, please let us know.
Nordland, Chris Jarvis, Baby UFO, Life with Bobby, Mama Cindy, not particularly in that order, and Smoochie. You guys let me know now if you're still here and want a reading. All right, Miss Carrie Ann, I am using the Dark Goddesses Oracle. Life with Bobby, I see you, girl. We've been having freakish heat all week, except for yesterday and today. For like 3 days, it was hitting like 106, 107 here. Sedna, the card of depth. And thank you, everybody, for your patience. I know it's hard to wait. I try to get through them as quickly as possible. Sedna encourages you to dive deeper. Now is the time for introspection. What you are searching for is hiding just below the surface level. Don't be afraid to delve into the cold and the darkness to reach that richer understanding you're seeking. You must not let fear of the unknown hold you back from all that you are capable of. So, Carrie, that is very short but sweet, right? It's very on point. I feel as though fear really is, and this seems to be a theme tonight because it's come up in several readings. Fear really is holding you back in a certain area, whether this be actual physical, like fear of violence, or fear of, how do I get out of this toxic relationship? Just an example, because maybe the other person has control of the money, or maybe you're afraid if you move out into your own place and leave your roommates behind, they're not going to be your friends anymore because, they depend on you for the rent. There's some situation here that it's like so much better for you not to be a part of it. But for some reason, you're thinking about everybody else, how they're going to feel, and behave towards you after you make this decision. And the fact of the matter is, Carrie, I know it's not easy, right? I know that, yeah, good things come to those who wait, for sure. And I know that this is going to be very easy for me to say, but understand that we've all been through something like this at some point in our lives, and some of us are in it now. Mind over matter. Those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. And I say this at least once a week. And the reason is because if somebody is really your friend, if someone really loves you, cares for you, wants to protect you, wants to see you happy, then when you make a decision that is simply for you and your happiness and your peace of mind and your sanity and your safety and your protection and you, they're not going to think it's selfish. They're going to think, yes, good for you, finally. No matter if it negatively affects them or not. Because you're not doing this in a malicious way. You're not like, ooh, let me get my own place so that my roommates can be screwed for the third of the rent every month. No, you're like, it's time for me to strike out on my own. I want to move, in that example. So anyone who's telling you you're selfish or narcissistic or all of these things I'm hearing yelled at you, like literally hearing someone yelling these things and accusing you of being these things, simply because you're choosing to do something, or even just discussing making a choice to do something that is going to make your life better, make you feel better, make you happier, whatever it is, you're elevating in some way, and probably several. If someone has a problem with that and thinks that's selfish, you have to really think, how much could this person really care for you? And this may not make a difference, especially if it is that you're in some kind of abusive situation, whether it be physically, verbally, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, etc. Because when we're in those situations, there's different things that have to do with control and trauma bonds and all that. On the surface, though, Carrie, you know exactly what's best for you. And while it's okay to consider how others are going to feel and what others are going to think and how your decision or decisions is going to affect them or are going to affect them, it's not okay to ever put anyone, aside from a minor child that you're still responsible for, in front of your own peace of mind, happiness, and safety. It's not selfish to put your happiness before someone else's, especially if that someone else is an abusive other. In the next few weeks, I don't see you really acting on any or like making any major decisions that you're going to act on. But I do feel like it's very important, or the universe wouldn't be bringing it to our attention, that you start considering that you're not the problem, and that you wanting to be happy and wanting to be normal or have a regular relationship or there's something here that is so toxic and so not normal. This is you learning that it's okay to want better. It's not selfish. It's not disloyal. It's not loving. We can't love people no matter what. We can't love people unconditionally if they don't love us back in that way. And unconditional love isn't a free pass to abuse someone else. Unconditional love is for healthy, loving relationships. I'm going to be here to back you up. I'm going to support you. I'm going to love you no matter what. That doesn't mean you can berate me, cheat on me, steal from me, lie to me, neglect me, abuse me, etc. And I'm still going to be here and be your whipping girl. And I feel like somebody has you convinced that that's actually the case, that you're giving up on them, that you're giving up on abandoning them like everyone else. All of the usual stuff that we hear when we're in these types of relationships. The universe is saying, look, you don't have to take any action, but you at least need to consider that you are not the one who's wrong here. And that you should really, even if it's behind the scenes and a teeny tiny bit at a time, start working on getting yourself out of whatever this is. I don't want to say too much about it publicly. I don't know you that well. I didn't discuss with you talking about this publicly, but this could end dangerously and it could also end violently. We don't want that. Who's next? Blue Crossroads.
Okay. Okay. Once again, I want to call these people: Norland, Smoochie, Jarvis, Baby UFO, Cindy Lee. If you guys are here, let us know if you want a card.
And Bat Mom.
Well, Bat Mom, but she was first, and I've called. That's why I haven't called her, because I haven't even seen her in chat.
No, it's okay. I just wanted to give her that option if she is listening.
Oh, that's true too. That's true too. Go ahead and do. Oh, Baby UFO's here. Go ahead and do Life with Bobby, since she answered first. Then Baby UFO.
All right, cool. Carrie, you're more than welcome. And like I said, I'm so sorry it took me so long. But just give me till Monday. I will get back to you in your email. I just have not had time to breathe this week. I mean, I'm struggling. All right. Life with Bobby. Let's use night fairies. Oh my gosh, no way. So look what I just found. One of the cards fell on the floor, and I am going to take it because it jumped out. But I don't know if you guys remember these or if this was just a me thing. But in high school, we all wore these. I had so many of them. Do you remember these? I think they started in the 70s and they made a comeback in the late 90s.
Yeah, the kids have them.
It looks like just a little bracelet, but then when you take it off,
it's an animal or something.
It's a shape. This one's a turtle.
Yeah, the kids had a bunch of them. The girls had a bunch of those.
I definitely did too.
Oops.
Okay, Life with Bobby. We have the Awakening. Look at this card. Oh my gosh. Paolo Barbieri, he's got to be my favorite artist, even more than Jasmine Beckett Smith. Life with Bobby, card number 25. Several months younger than you. Life with Bobby, it seems I've been hiding for far too long. The Fairy of Awakening calls us to come out of hiding and nurture the part of us that has been asleep for far too long. Though in some circles she is vilified by her allegiance to her totem, the sacred serpent, the alert and spry Fae continues to reveal and show more of herself, unfazed, rising like sacred Kundalini energy to appear in all her vibrance and radiance. Waking up, new vision, new life, a new day, coming out of your shell. The yogic tradition associates the energy centers of the body with the sacred serpent, with the spinal system often associated with the system of chakras. These energy centers are said to contain the essence of our spirit. Your affirmation: I love who I am and I radiate that love outward. I am free to be me. Do you guys see a theme rising here? August of 83. Okay, so you are a couple months younger. There is nothing wrong with being a little shy, but it's so important to progress and bring yourself out of that shell. Have you been sleeping? Maybe give your wild side a nudge and really show that part of you to the world. You may be surprised by the results. You are loved and very much needed in this world, so why hide? Life with Bobby, I feel like in the next couple of weeks, you're going to, and I know this is going to be like a little bit weird, but I'm just going to say it. It's like your comfort level in some area is really going to go on an uptick, and that's amazing. And it may not stay there. So the universe is like, while you're feeling this confidence, and again, it's not full blown, I'm confident about everything in my life, and here I am, right? Like some people, most of the time, even though I do struggle tremendously like everyone else sometimes, this is like a part of your life where you're like, you know what, I'm going to take a chance and I'm going to get involved in that. Or I'm going to take a chance and I'm going to say this. I do feel like it has more to do with your voice, with, you know, putting something out there on social media, sending a text that you never thought you'd have the courage to send. This is the universe saying, act on a whim sometimes, especially when it's something that's coming from your heart. So if you have something in a situation that you've wanted to say for a really long time, you've wanted to express it, you really feel deeply and truly about whatever this is, but you've kept silent because it's not your business, it's not your place, you know, you don't want to offend or upset anybody. We don't want to go out of our way, obviously, to be confrontational, offensive, or rude. But if you really, really feel this way, the universe is saying, put it out there, get it out. Stop silencing yourself to make others happy and to make others feel more comfortable and more content. Sometimes we have to show up and we have to say, I'm here. This is who I am. Like it or don't, take it or leave it. You get what you get and you don't pitch a fit, right? That's what they say down south, right? Life with Bobby, the fact of the matter is someone needs to hear what you have to say. And I feel like it's going to make this difference that you don't even see. Kind of like what I said to Sin with like her kids and grandkids. There's like a decision coming up that's going to affect them in so many different ways, years down the line where she won't even see it. It's like the same with you, only this is like a complete stranger, which is why I said, I think this has to do with like putting something on the internet or putting an opinion or expressing something that you've been holding in for so long. It's almost becoming like a toxic part of you. Right? It's like rotting from the inside out, this one idea or this one thought or this one feeling. I don't know what this is, but being shy is not going to help anybody in this situation. I feel like people or a person, they really need to hear what you have to say. You know, someone messaged me today, one of my female friends that I met in this stream. She doesn't come in anymore, but that's because we work privately. And she was just like saying all these beautiful things to me. And it was right as I was in my kitchen, just so overwhelmed. I was in tears and I couldn't even move. I was just, and that text came right at the exact time. And she really put herself out there saying these things to me. I've never met her in real life. Yes, we've worked closely together. I consider her a soul sister, but like at that exact moment, and Life with Bobby, I feel like in the next few weeks, you're going to feel almost compelled, like almost this compulsion to comfort someone or stand up for something, or there's something there. And I think you'll know when it hits you, because there's going to be this strong urge to just like, don't get involved. But the fact of the matter is the time has come for you to get involved, even on the periphery. So this may not affect you personally, but it will show you how stepping out of your shell, even every once in a while when it's important to do so, is important. And that what you have to say and your voice and your opinions, thoughts, and feelings, they matter, even if it's to someone halfway across the world. And I feel like you need to be reminded of that. We can't hide ourselves from everyone and everything all of the time, regardless of why you're doing it. Because our energy, all of us have energy that's meant to affect other people, whether it be positively or negatively. And keeping that energy to yourself at all times is very selfish. So while this isn't very personal, where I normally get on the readings, I feel like whoever's out there that needs to hear what you have to say or see what you're going to put out there, or whatever the case, it's very important and very personal for that person. And I feel like once you see that, this could be a lesson you needed to learn, and like that gentle push for you to maybe speak your mind more and stand up for yourself more and disagree with others more. You don't want to be that person that's always like, yeah, I understand, right? To all sides, because you want to be pragmatic and you don't want to offend anyone. You don't want people not to like you. So we can't live our lives like that. I tried for 3 years on YouTube and I almost like gave up on life because of it. Trying to please everybody and never be offensive and always be happy and smiling and positive. And it was just so toxic. I couldn't do it anymore. And I did lose some people that were following me because of it. But if I have to put on a show for you to like me, I'm not going to do that. If I have to silence myself when it's most important for me, to me, not to, I don't need you either. And I feel like that's a lesson you kind of are in the midst of learning, and it's going to come to a head and to fruition with this almost like compulsive urge to just get involved. Now, if it's not on the internet, it could be with someone very close to you, could be for yourself. You have got to say something and or do something in this situation. And I feel like you are the exact person to do it. And you know that it's going to be hard. Take a deep breath and just jump right in. The universe has your back. You are protected. And whoever you lose from it, they just like, they don't deserve to be in your life anyway. They deserve to have lost you because of who they are and how they're behaving and all that. All right, baby UFO.
Do you have timestamps?
I do. I have Tennille and Casey.
Okay.
Baby UFO, I'm using the Halloween Oracle because I didn't do, I did Tennille in stream last week, and Casey, I didn't get to do hers because I got really sick, remember? I'd been at the hospital all day, completely wide open. Baby UFO, trick or treat, mischief, and play. You're welcome, Life with Bobby. Thank you. Trick-or-treating is such a fun thing to do, is it not? Yet, why do we trick-or-treat? Ancient peoples understood that there were both mischievous and perhaps nasty spirits wandering around at nightfall at Halloween, as well as happier, more benevolent spirits. They thought that if they dressed as spirits themselves or other frightening creatures, then they would not be recognized as humans and therefore not attacked. The idea of causing a little chaos as one of these quote-unquote spirits was part of the imitation and the enjoyment of the night. The practice in medieval Britain was aptly called souling. Today, trick-or-treating is a huge event. We spend much time, money, and effort dressing up as our scariest creatures, and this has even extended to dressing up as our favorite celebrities and other pop culture idols. Instead of traditional candy apples and barnbrock, we give out a mind-boggling variety of candy. It matters not. The idea of frightening away death and darkness still stands. I believe that the modern trick-or-treating also unites communities by introducing our families and friends to those around us in a non-threatening and somewhat joyful way. Many of us do not know our neighbors, even those who live next door, and Halloween gives us an excuse not to be so reserved and to perhaps extend our boundaries. Baby UFO, should you receive the trick-or-treat card in your divination, it may well be a time to examine the role of play and mischief in your own life. You don't have to be a child to let go and have some playtime every once in a while, and you can extend the fun to others as well. Sometimes we're afraid to make mistakes, and play is one way to alleviate the pressure that we sometimes place on ourselves to get everything perfect every single time. Alternatively, it's worth knowing that there's a balance between manipulation and mischief. The former isn't pleasant, and the other has, at its core, a sense of irreverent fun. Baby UFO, you got to get out there and have some fun, man. I mean, it's not that simple, but it definitely is. It's like when you're not prioritizing at least a little bit of fun in your life, and all you have is like responsibility after responsibility after responsibility. I mean, that's great that you're willing to work that hard. But at the same time, there has to be balance in everything, right? Which is why we have good, evil, good and bad, up and down, light and dark. And those are just words, right? Stuck in a circle. You have to force yourself out. Force the time into your schedule. Sometimes you have to schedule play. You have to schedule fun. It's sad but true, guys, and a lot of us know it. There just isn't time, especially in 2025 with everything going on in the world. No matter who you are, it's always like trying to get a leg up and trying to work harder than the next person and trying to do. We have got to prioritize play and happiness and fun. Chill and Charlie, do you want a reading before you go? Okay. Let me know. I feel like in the next couple of weeks, there could be an opportunity for you to combine work with play, though. Whether you want to do this or not, or you just want to get out there and do something fun that you really would enjoy. What's up, Heather? That doesn't have anything to do with your job. Like, you just have to prioritize that. You have to prioritize laughing and being silly and goofy and not always having to be, responsible. I don't know. There's like this overwhelming feeling of like overwhelm with you. Schedule it in, find time, find a way. But baby, if I will say in the next couple of weeks, there's going to be some opportunity to maybe take a little bit of time off, maybe to get out there and get away from what you're doing. And it could be combining your job with something. The universe is telling you, like, you are going to burn out so fast, like so quickly, if you continue with all work and no play. I know that's a very simple message, but it's complex in a way that some of us can't even do that. Look for the opportunity. It's coming in, and make sure you take it. Like, please don't prioritize anything above it at that point. Of course, it doesn't mean be irresponsible, right? But definitely be a little irresponsible. Throw caution to the wind and put yourself out there. What's up, Heather girl? No, not at all. You and Charlie will be my last ones before timestamps. I have had the roughest week ever, and I'm looking forward to ending early. But I definitely got you guys. All right, let's do Charlie. Charlie will do Urban Crow. Get out there and have you some fun. Sometimes it's as simple as that. Gifts. Gifts. Card number 21. When I would discover a foreign object on my apartment balcony, my heart would sing. One time my gift arrived in the form of a bright green cap, and another time it was a very long stick. Crows express gratitude and appreciation when they feel a connection with a human. Gifts asks that you take a moment to recognize a connection and make someone's day by dropping off a gift. Gifts come in all shapes and sizes. Not everything needs to be shiny or valuable. Sometimes a gift is simply a smile or someone holding the door for you. Gifts during a reading may appear as a reminder to be grateful for all the good things that have happened during your situation. Just like crows dropping off a bottle cap as a loving gesture, the universe sends us gifts every day. All it wants in return is to know that they are appreciated. Imagine if you gave someone a gift and they didn't even acknowledge it. You might think twice before ever giving them another one. Now think about when you give someone a gift and they appreciate it. It makes you want to give them another one. The universe is just like that. Gifts is simply a reminder to say thank you so that the universe will continue sending you more. Chillin' Charlie, this is all about counting your blessings. Maybe you've been doing that more often and this is the universe acknowledging it. Or maybe you've been, like with everyone else, like everyone else that I know has been at least very overwhelmed and just like, when is it going to be my time to shine? When am I going to achieve this? When am I going to get out of this? When am I going to get into this? All of this when instead of thank you for now, right? And this is the universe reminding you to do that. Not only that, but how can you be a blessing in someone else's life? I feel like the opportunity for that is coming in for you. And it may be something where like before you weren't ready to maybe put yourself out there in a certain area or talk about a certain thing or, and the universe is saying you are now. You can really make a difference in someone's life in the next couple of weeks. I don't know how, but I feel like just by being you, by giving this person an opportunity to be heard, to let them know that they're seen and they're not invisible. And I don't know, he didn't pop in yet. He might think we have all night, not realizing we're ending soon. Chillin' Charlie, just make sure that even when things seem to be going wrong, you're looking for the blessing. And that can be a really hard thing to train your mind to do. But make sure you're doing that because there's something that could be like seemingly going wrong for you in the next couple of weeks. But as the months progress, you're going to see that without that thing seemingly going wrong, none of whatever this amazing major thing is would have happened. So take everything that's seemingly negative, that's seemingly not turning out right, that you seemingly can't win in. And I'm not saying be happy and excited about it, but say to yourself or say out loud so the universe and your team can hear you, like, I know you have a bigger plan than me, right? And really trying your best to believe that. At the core of this, though, is counting your blessings, making sure your team knows that you know they're there, and definitely going out of your way even to be a blessing to someone else in the next couple of weeks. I feel like you're going to like make or break someone else's spirit by how you show up for them, if that makes sense. Ooh, Miss Heather. Let's use Sisters of the Sea. Feel your power. Card number 24. Even mermaids feel drained at times. Their energy stills and can even stagnate, and some have come close to forgetting their power, but their power is who they are, and once they remember who they are, their power comes streaming back into their sea cells, and they begin to crave the deliciousness of life once again. There are times when you feel you could not do so much as stir a cup of tea, let alone stir and summon the power within the ocean or that which lies within you. And yet, that's not the truth. The days of feeling you are unable to move through the world with energy and confidence are no longer with you, Heather. A new gift of energy and empowerment is coming to you. With this gift, you are drawn toward what is exactly right for you. The currents flowing around you are allies precisely guiding you to where you need to be. You have learned how to navigate the depths of your life's lows. Now you must learn how to allow yourself to celebrate, to feel exhilaration, and know that the moment of being guided by the light has led to a true evolution of your spirit. You have something to celebrate, and a new flow of true strength moves through your veins. You are the flow. You are the mer being who can summon the wave and settle the storm. You are the one who can swim with the water dragons and know they are your dear friends. This is a time of respect, confidence, and growth, child of the ocean. Exhilarate in this moment. This is almost like a no holds barred, taking no prisoners type of energy, Heather, but in the highest possible vibration in the best possible way. This is someone trying to tear you down, bring you down, talk you down, beat you down, and you just being like, yep, that's great. On to what you're doing. I feel like this is going to be very surprising to one person in particular. And you may not feel right now, you may be like, Gemma, that does not sound like me. I sound more like the person who can't summon the strength to stir a cup of tea. That may be how you're feeling now, but I'm telling you, in the next couple of weeks, it's like you're on this progression to, I mean, nobody's confident all the time and full of confidence all the time, but you're on this progression to where like now you actually are, instead of just trying to remember to, and, you know, taking baby steps towards like emotionally detaching from the toxic person and or people in your life, you're like progressing rapidly at understanding that you can achieve and accomplish so much more without them dragging you down, that it's almost like you're excited about it now. Yeah, it probably still hurts because I do think there's romance here, or at least a very, very close, loving, I would say loving connection of like someone you really loved tremendously, whether romantic or not. But it's like now that's fading into the background finally of you coming into yourself and loving yourself even more than you ever thought you loved that person. Heather, this is unconditional love for you. Pride in yourself, not being prideful shamefully, but being proud of your accomplishments and your achievements and not needing to seek validation from anyone else, let alone this one person that is never going to give it. You're going to see this in yourself in the next few weeks. And at the times where you don't feel very confident or very strong or very capable or able, I want you to remind yourself how far you've come. And I also want you to remind yourself the role that that person played in all of that? Because I guarantee you it's very, very minimal. How much validation have they given you even when you needed it the most and were practically begging for it? 0 to minimal. Give it to yourself. And in the next couple of weeks, I feel like it's going to be impossible for you not to validate yourself in certain areas where you can find courage and pride and so much love for yourself and your achievements that the other person that you've been trying to emotionally detach from for so long is going to be like an afterthought for the first time. And this is where it all starts, Heather. This is the ball rolling into your complete and total independence from this toxic situation. Good luck, and I'm praying for you because this is amazing, and it's a moment you're never going to forget in your life. KC. Ainara in the Dark Goddess Oracle. You're welcome, Miss Heather. Thanks for stopping in. And Miss KC, this is the card of trickery. Someone's setting off fireworks, but it sounded at first like someone was downstairs, but it's someone in the woods. Fireworks in the woods. That's great. All that glitters is not gold. Don't believe all that's been told. Tricksters' tricks won't fool for long. Protection placed, now stand strong. By the power of the dark goddess in me, protection in place, blessed be. Miss KC, this sounds awfully familiar, like you're personal. Someone who seems too good to be true is showering you with sweet compliments, and attention is all on you right now. A new person who appears to fit right in, and a situation that is on offer could be what you've been dreaming of. It all feels exciting and new and seems like the answer to your prayers. However, this Hittite goddess of wild animals asks you not to be drawn in by appearances alone, for she knows herself how to masquerade in the name of deception. This is how many survive, by riding on the success of others. Be wary of those who suddenly seem keen to help or to please you. Don't be tricked or you will find yourself trapped. Open your eyes to see the truth. Someone seems too good to be true. Be true, be honest, and integral. You are about to be found out. Don't let others ride on your coattails and take credit for your success. Protect your work. KC, this is definitely, I think something that we talked about with your personal, where it's like something you really believed in or someone you really believed in that you got involved with, you gave your all to. It's like it's turning out that this person or this situation is not what you initially thought it was going to be or they were going to be. This is, I feel like this person is almost doubling down, or like the situation is almost, hello, Juanita. The situation is almost like, this is how I see it. Like, you're starting to realize that things aren't as they seem, that someone's been lying to you, that you've been, kind of pulled into something that's false. And then like when you confront someone about it, they're sending in like their second to like reinforce all of the lies and deception. Casey, this is the universe telling you in the next couple of weeks to stand firm in your instinct and intuition, not what you're being shown or told by the people or person you're not trusting in the first place due to your instinct and intuition, right? So you're being guided by your spirit team, which that's them yelling to you, telling you things, trying to get through to you in that little tag team wrestling match I'm always talking about, where you're not tagging their hands. So all they can do is give you these downloads. And you're working through that and working with that in a situation where now you realize you've been duped or almost were very duped. But then it's like the other person or the people involved or in charge are doubling down. Casey, stand true to your instinct and intuition, not what someone is trying to convince you of. It's like, you know better than that. It doesn't mean you have to give up on whatever this is, because you can just as easily continue with your passion for and work in whatever this is. But at the same time, you need to break with either one person or an organization out of a situation. There's something here that is very disingenuous and kind of ruining whatever this amazing thing you found is for you, if that makes sense. Lotus Girl, we're going to do the Moonology. Then we are going to end, guys. I know it's a little bit earlier than usual, but I did the best I could tonight. It's been a rough week. 4th of July is next Friday, so we might end up doing the stream on Saturday instead. I'll keep you guys posted through community tab here on YouTube, TikTok and YouTube Shorts, my Instagram, Facebook. You'll definitely know. I'm really not sure though yet what I'm doing. Thank you, Tony. Good to see you. But I'm just beat to heck this week. It has been such a long, draining week. It's been a great week too, but it's just been such a shock to my routine. I really just need the rest. So after this, we are going to end it. Tennille, you got new moon in Scorpio. Go deeper. Normally, though, guys, we're here till 10 or 11 Eastern. Normally. Tennille, you're regaining control of a situation that cut deep. You've moved through your fears and can now see where the issue has come from. Now isn't the time to gloss over the facts. Rather, it's time for you to face your darkest concerns and go deeper. Your situation may need to crumble before it can be renewed. Magic is called for. It's crucial to stay strong now. This card is an especially good sign for matters related to money or an obsession you've been grappling with. Know that you're magic. Clear out negativity to supercharge your manifesting powers. Life goes in cycles, and my life is now regenerating. So, Lotus, I don't feel like your darkest fears or anything you're concerned about is unwarranted. I just feel like you are finally coming to a point. Finally, and I'm happy for this. I'm sorry who it affects negatively, but you're finally coming to a point where you understand you've done all you can do, at least for now, right? The other person or people involved now have to take the reins and take responsibility and do what's necessary for them to do. You can't keep jumping in every time someone decides to jump in the water knowing they don't know how to swim and they jump in the deep end because good old Tennille is going to jump in after them and save them over and over and over and over again. It's just not how things work. And you've allowed that to happen for so long simply because you're a genuinely good person and you want to see the good in people. But when does it get to the point where you understand that even if the person isn't doing it on purpose, you're being used? You're the fallback person. I feel like you're finally understanding that you can't always jump in to save people. Sometimes the reason they keep falling and falling and falling or jumping and jumping and jumping into the water is not only because they know you'll go and get them, but because there's a lesson they have to learn that you are preventing them from learning because you keep jumping in to save them before they can learn the lesson of what happens when you don't know how to swim and jump in the deep end. This is time for you to take for yourself, your physical health, your emotional energy. This should be, in the next couple of weeks at least, Tennille time, okay? Even if you still have to work a little bit more than you'd like to, even if you're still physically not as well as you'd like to be, this is you not being everyone's savior in everything and allowing other people to make their own mistakes and to make their own choices and to clean up their own messes. Tony, it's so good to see you. I'm sorry we're ending so early. It's been a really, really rough week for me energetically, and I'm just going through the motions at this point, but we'll be back either next Friday or Saturday. We're always here every Friday. I hardly ever miss this stream, but with it being the 4th of July, I'm just not sure if we're going barbecuing and swimming or if we're going to just be home. Either way, I'll try to have the stream on Saturday, if not Friday. You can still get personals from me, information in the description box. You can still email me. I still have products I sell, other services I offer. Guys, I really could use some donations to PayPal or Cash App. I don't think I've had any in 3 weeks. Just putting it out there. I love you guys. Tony, hope to see you again. You guys are all so amazing, and I will talk to you real soon. Monday, we're going to be discussing the bizarre disappearance of Bryce Lespisa back into the true crime genre there. So good night and have a great, great, great weekend.